Welcome to this parallel session dedicated to our Innovation Hub Aging and Wellbeing. I'm Sylvain Antoniotti. I'm a CNRS Research Director, and I also serve as Innovation Hub Coordinator for this thematic hub within Ulysseus, and I'm also in charge of the task of designing the Innovation Hub, and I will be the animator of this session together with Mrs. Diana Sebar, that some of you know. She's the IDEX Operational Director for Research at Université Côte d'Azur, and she also serves as the Innovation Hub Officer for this Aging and Wellbeing Hub. So we have a quite busy schedule for this 1 hour and a half together. So I will go straight to the point with this agenda for the session. I will talk first about the objective of this parallel session. The objectives are dual. The first objective is to make you able to meet each other, because it's the first time we have the opportunity to organize something where the community which is interested in activities within the hub Aging and Wellbeing will be able to meet. So the first goal is that you can get to know each other and maybe identify some potential collaboration within the Alliance. That's the main objective. The secondary objective is to continue to build the mapping of this very big thematic area. And that's something we have started to do and that we will continue to do for the next month. We have also scheduled some pitching activities for the research STEM. So first, we would like to thank the people who agreed on presenting on such a particular format. I know that as a researcher myself, I know that it's always boring when we have restricted time to present our research, but the purpose of today is not to give a comprehensive overview of the research you are performing in your lab, but simply to present the keywords and the possible connection, and also maybe some expression of some needs of some type of collaboration you would like to build, and seize the opportunity of this meeting maybe to go forward on that. Then we will have at around maybe 3:30, we will have to break into 3, I should say, sub-parallel sessions, because we are already in a parallel world, so it's going to be another dimension in parallelism. And these 3 breakout rooms that will be accessible through the functionality of Zoom in the bottom will be starting to go into more thematic activities, and will be another occasion to focus specifically on your research with other people. At any moment of this parallel session, you will be able also to schedule some one-to-one meetings using the B2Match platform. So if you need to have time specifically with someone to go further in the discussion without being in a Zoom environment, that's possible. At 4 p.m. sharp, we will get back to this room, to this Zoom room, and we will have feedbacks from the moderators of each sub-session. And we will give you also some information about possibility to get traveling grants, so that you can go further in meeting people, maybe physically. In the near future, we hope that we will be able to travel a little bit more, and that will be another occasion to build up these new collaborations. So this is the provisional mapping of the Innovation Hub Aging and Wellbeing. This map has been built quite openly by meeting people at Université Côte d'Azur first, then by taking into account the result of the survey that hundreds of people replied to within the Alliance. And we have been looking for encompassing as much diversity of research activities as possible so that everyone can feel comfortable with this mapping. And then we will continue to work on that to be more accurate, maybe to place some branches in some other ones. So this is still something which is in progress. And as I said earlier, one of the goals of today's parallel session is to continue to improve this map and to challenge it. So if you feel like your research is not quite fitting with this map, it's not a problem. You just let us know and we can accommodate every type of research performed within the Alliance. And then in the next phase, we will continue to find some relevant way to group activities together and then to go into into action and start to have collaboration, and that will be the third phase of the improvement of the map. So based on that map, we have divided the world in 3 parts. So maybe this is the moment where Diana, you continue the animation so that you can present the 3 sessions that we will have.
Okay, so we will now move on to scientific pitches that aim to illustrate very quickly, as Sylvain said, some of the themes of the Innovation Hub, and that also aim to help identify some potential partners. So before introducing one by one all of the 10 speakers, I would like to thank them once again for their participation, since it is through the collaboration that this Innovation Hub will become something real. So, well, that being said, I will ask you, if possible, to respect the speaking time of 3 minutes. And since the discussion will then continue in the 3 splitted sessions that I will present after the speech. So first, let's give the floor to Anjali Vaillant-Ciszewicz. She's Doctor of Psychology at the Cognition Behavior Technology Lab of Université Côte d'Azur, and she is also clinical psychologist at University Hospital Center. So Anjali, floor is yours.
Thank you. Hello everyone, I'm very happy to be with you today. So I would like to talk to you about our project called Psydoma. What is Psydoma? It's a project included in our Bien Vieillir program, which deals with the well-being of elderly people suffering from Alzheimer's disease and their carers. Psydoma's aims is to reduce behavioral and psychological symptoms at home. Our team is composed of 4 psychologists, 1 nurse coordinator, and 1 occupational therapist. Psydoma was created because in France, there is no home program with a non-pharmacological approach to reduce patients' symptoms. There are many hospitalizations because of the behavioral and psychological symptoms, and the carers are often exhausted. By consequence, they treat patients' symptoms with psychotropic drugs. When the condition worsened with time, patients will have to enter in nursing home, and the carers will be left feeling guilty and sad. This is why Psydoma promotes a non-pharmacological approach at home for patients and a psychoeducation program for the caregivers. The latter includes 3 sessions. The first one is about the knowledge of the disease, its symptoms, and the treatment. And the second session covers emotion management. For example, how to manage with wanderings. In the last session, the carer will learn how to better communicate with the patient. And now let's talk about the protocol. We hope to include 14 diets, patients, and carers over 2 periods of 7 months. 3 home visits will be scheduled each week. Psychologists will provide non-pharmacological approaches like cognitive trainings, relaxation sessions, mindfulness meditation sessions, art therapy, etc. The carers will participate to the psychoeducation program, as we have seen earlier. A copy of the detailed personalized program will be handed to each dyad at the end of the study, and a follow-up will be also provided if needed. This PsyDoma project has begun in January, and we hope to report the first result in August. And thank you. Sorry for my English.
Thank you so much, Anjuli. It was perfect. Timing is perfect. So I now call upon Joan Perez. Is postdoctoral researcher at the Laboratory of Structures, Adaptation Processes and Changes in Space at Université Côte d'Azur.
Good afternoon, and thank you for having me today. So you already introduced me, so I'm going straight to the point, and I will introduce the 4V project. So 4V stands for Urban Form, Aging, and Wellbeing. And the case studies for this project is ex-Marseille metropolitan area. So this project regroups researchers and students. We are approximately 15 people from two laboratories, ESPACE laboratories that you just introduced, which is a laboratory located in different universities, including, of course, Université Côte d'Azur, in which I'm working now, and also ex-Marseille University, and also another laboratory, the Housing and Urban Analysis Laboratory from the University of Tokyo in Japan. So this project is also funded by Région Sud and CNRS. So we know that everywhere, and especially in south of France, population is aging rapidly. And in ex-Marseille, the share of people having more than 65-year-old went from 14% in 1919 to more than 20% today. So, however, most of the urban spaces have been designed and constructed for a young population and during a period of increasing housing demand. But aging is closely followed by a decline in fertility rate and also by a decline in housing demand. So in terms of aging and fertility rate, Japan is the most advanced country in the world. And that's why we are in collaboration with the University of Tokyo within this project. So to summarize, the main hypothesis of this project is that we think that some urban forms are better suited to an elderly population, with, for example, building containing elevator, pedestrian-friendly neighborhood with local shop and park with activities for the elder. And conversely, some building and neighborhood can be totally unsuited, such as isolated residential complex that force you to have a car, or, for example, bad arrangement of street, material, and buildings that can lead to more heat during heat wave. And we know that elders are more sensitive to heat wave than other categories of the population. So the aim of this project is to understand the link between urban form and the spatial distribution of elder. And when I am talking about urban form, I am not only referring to design, to urban design. I'm also referring to building and neighborhood amenities, proximity indicator, urban greenery, and so on. So the main question is, what are the form factors that influence the location and the relocation of elder? So here on the left, you have a black map. You can see some preliminary result. This is, for example, a typology of different kind of building. And the map next to it is the distribution of elder, of people that are more than 65-year-old. And we are making some connection from all of this. Another question we want to answer is, are some elder trapped in unsuited neighborhood? And if so, why? Is it because of health issue, money, family, proximity to family, or lack of family, and so on? So I will now conclude on the method. So first, we are collecting data at the finest scale related to different aspects of urban form, like demography, amenity, but also biodiversity. And in terms of application, we are using data mining, artificial intelligence algorithm, aka machine learning, simulation, as well as projection. And in the future, we also plan to survey some households containing elderly population. So thank you for your attention, and I put my mail at the bottom of the slide if you want to get in touch with me or any person working within this project. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Joan. Please stay with us till the end. Our next speaker is Gianni Liti. Gianni is a principal investigator at the Institute for Research on Cancer and Aging of Nice. Université Côte d'Azur.
Hello, everyone. So I'm a CNRS researcher at the IRCAN, the Research History of Cancer Aging in Nice, which is directed by Eric Gilson. And I was one of the founding members in 2012, and I started the team of population genomics and complex traits. So we're a group of about 12 people in the team, and one thing that characterize our team is the interaction between the experimental and the computational analysis. So there is a balance between different backgrounds, and there is a strong footprint of interdisciplinarity in our team. So the other things that characterize our team is it's actually, so we use a model system, which is the body yeast, Motricity, and related species in pretty much all aspects of our research. So the body yeast has been a model pretty much for virtually any aspects of biology, and many things that have been discovered first in yeast and have been sort of extrapolated and applied to other model or to our own, and have revealed many mechanisms, including key aspects of the biology of aging. So in our team, we exploit natural variation. So this is variation that naturally occur in populations of, again, of any model, including us. And we try to study how these patterns of genetic variation arise, and also how they evolve. And for this, we use experimental evolution, mostly to look at drug resistance, but also we look at aging. So yeast has been a model in, and has been a key model in understanding the molecular mechanism of aging, and this is one of the things we do it. So another feature of the model systems, it's actually that has been exploited by human activities for more than 10,000 years. So human has used and perhaps domesticated by the yeast to make many of the products that we consume daily for like food and beverage, but more recently, actually, the body yeast is a platform to produce valuable chemicals or compounds or antibodies, and it's been really taking up a key role in the sort of a synthetic biology approach. So one thing also my team is exploring at the moment is the application of the biotech approach to our research. So this was funded through an exploratory grant from UCA and CNRS called Deep Tech. And we are in the process of exploring the possibility to launch a spin-off called Yeast Boost that sort of exploits the research that we do in the lab.
Thank you, Gianni. So the next presentation will be made by two persons. Philippe Robert, who is the director of the Cognition Behavior Technology Lab at Université Côte d'Azur, and Valeria Manera, who is a postdoctoral researcher in the same lab.
Hello, everybody. Bonjour à tous. My name is Philippe Robert. I am a psychiatrist, and you are here in my office at the Memory Center at the Institut Claude Pompidou in Nice. I am a psychiatrist, and this morning we're doing a consultation with patient and the family in this office. But when you look at it, there is a lot of photography, painting, board games, and it doesn't look like a classical medical office. And that's one of the topic and the objective of the CogTech group, is to try to merge and technology and clinical expertise, but also to merge with art and other disciplines. And I would like to give the talk to Valeria, because she would like to present you in 1 minute 30 seconds 3 amazing programs that we are conducting at the moment, even without the cloud out, in combination with several parts of the university, the Academy 5, the Extended Reality Center, as well as the Federation of Intervention in Health. Valeria.
Thanks a lot. Nice to be here. So very quickly, it's just to give you an overview of what's new, we are doing. These are all new projects that we are developing so far. So as Philippe mentioned, we use a lot new technology, usually is for assessment and training of a patient with neurocognitive disorders. That's a little bit our population. But also now recently we are using virtual reality to develop new teaching programs for students and in clinical domains that have to learn how to deal with patients. And it's not enough to read on books about that. So we need to go further. And that's what we are trying to do with the last project. And in the first 2 ones, basically, as Philippe was saying, we are trying to run a randomized control trial. It's the example of Arrêt Santé, to improve well-being of people through the use of artistic workshop, like to propose them an atelier workshop on photography, music, and so on, to see how this can improve well-being. Or in the context of a gap, that's more consensus meeting. We are trying another part of Côte. We try to develop recommendation from experts of different domains. We bring them together to try to advance a little bit the field. And in this case, the new project is about how to use arts and board games to prevent and treat people with major and minor neurocognitive disorders. So well. And you can go on our website on CopTech. All the projects are listed and well described, so I don't say more. Thanks a lot.
Thank you so much. Please stay with us also for the split session. So our next speaker is Pauline Gerus. Pauline is a researcher at the Laboratory of Human Motricity, Expertise, Sport and Health at Université Côte d'Azur.
Thank you. So I'm Pauline Gerus. I'm at the Université Côte d'Azur in the LAMES laboratory. One of the topics in the lab is to combine biomechanics, physiology, neurocognition, and social psychology to investigate functional capacity and the effect of physical activity to improve functional autonomy during aging process. Click, please. A big part of this research is realized on the platform Freiti at the CIMI Hospital at Nice. This platform is included in a big project, Success Aging. On the platform, we have a lot of equipment, as you can see on the picture. We can perform motion gait analysis, we can measure muscle capacity, we can investigate the body composition, and we can monitor the level of physical activity with the actigraph, radiofrequence meter, and video analysis. Click, please. All this equipment can be used for care, research, and innovation to promote the success aging. For the care, elderly people, frail or not, could go to the platform to be evaluated with all the equipment and be a part of a physical activity program for 12 weeks, 3 sessions per week. At this stage, 800 old adults participated at this program. Click, please. For the research part, you can see some keywords on the slide. A big project was done on 30 people to find the best way to evaluate them without expensive equipment and optimize the physical activity program depending on each subject capacity. Another project is to analyze biomarkers, metabolomic in the blood and in the urine, to identify 30 markers and the effect of physical activity on these biomarkers. We also investigate the effect of dual task on gait, use artificial intelligence and machine learning to get the whole picture of each patient and personalize the physical activity program. Click, please. For the last part, the innovations, we have different projects with startup. I will give you some example. For example, Reward is a mobile application to promote physical activity with a reward. We use a connected glass to evaluate the risk of fall for elderly people. And we also validate a knee instrumented orthosis to evaluate people with knee osteoarthritis and use a mobile application to offer a supervised rehabilitation program to improve quality of life with this kind of population. So here you can see all the different examples, what we can perform in the platform for IT. Thank you.
Thank you, Pauline. Let's now give the floor to Seçkin Arslan, who is a postdoctoral researcher in the laboratory-based Corpus language at Université Côte d'Azur.
Hi, everyone. So here, I'm just going to give you a very quick overview of what we do in the field of neurolinguistics. So that's my domain of research that we do in BCL lab in Nice. So in neurolinguistics, one of the key questions that we ask is how sentence comprehension ability decline, or is it, so does it decline with age? How does the brain accommodate language? So especially in the aging brain. So this is very quick overview of what kind of research we do, what kind of conclusions we can withdraw from neurolinguistic research, in particularly with regard to aging neuroscience or cognitive neuroscience. So in this study that is funded by edX, actually, that we recruited a number of individuals from the Nice region that speak French. And this included two groups of people, very young, between the ages of 19 and 35, and old. So they were above 55 and up to 88 years of age. So what we do here is that we use a technique called EEG to record electrophysiological brain activity. So EEG is a non-invasive brain imaging technique. So in this person that you see, that we ask the individuals to wear a cap with electrodes inside that measures the electrical activity from the head, and the procedure is that during this is measured, individuals basically read sentences where there's a mistake in the sentence, and or brains basically respond to this mismatch, to this mistake. And so we basically evaluate what's happening in terms of electrophysiological mechanisms during we process the language. And so far, according to our results, what we have found, which is good news, as we age, our brain, the processing of language in our brain is not compromised. So that's good news. So because we are all aging in one way or another. But there are important differences, because we've found in the older people that there's an additional brain activity that's reflected in the frontal regions of the brain. So that's kind of means that there's a compensation in the brain mechanism as we age, so that the brain can accommodate language as the young people. So these kind of things that we are busy with in BCF. So if you're interested, get in touch. You can have a look at our paper as well. That's out. That was out recently in Scientific Reports. I'll be here to discuss any further collaboration activities as well.
So thank you for the presentation and for the good news. Now we welcome Jérémy Topin. Jérémy is an assistant professor in the Institute of Chemistry of Université Côte d'Azur.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for this introduction. Yes, I'm assistant professor in chemistry, and I will briefly introduce our activity about the relation between odor and emotions. So briefly, everyone knows the famous Madeleine de Proust, and everything it triggers as an emotion when you smell the nice smell of a cake. And so at the lab, we work as quantifying and precisely describing the emotion triggered by an odor stimulation. So we develop a protocol to measure it based on psychophysiological parameter. As chemists, we also aim at deciphering the structure-activity relationship between the structure of an individual compound and the impact on some physiological parameters such as heartbeat rate variation, arousal, respiration. So we are measuring the effect of different compounds, and using machine learning protocol or numerical modeling, we can predict the effect of one compound on some physiological parameters. We also want to be able to formulate new perfume with targeted properties. For example, to design a perfume which will induce relaxation or stimulation to someone. To do so, we were recording the effect of different stimulation by several distinct essential oils, such as citronella, bergamot, or lavender. Then we were analyzing the composition of each of these essential oil, and we were starting from each individual component found in the essential oil, formulate a new blend, as we can call a synthetic essential oil. And we are chemists, we are not working in marketing, so we will simply call it mix on the graph on the right corner. And interestingly, this mix, which was formulated by a computer, have a relaxation effect much more important than the individual component from which it's formed. So we were able to design a perfume with a targeted property. So for sure, we are speaking about olfactory stimulation, so we are not curing people, and the variation on the heartbeat rate are really small, but there is no side effect except the smell. And so the last step is now to evaluate the effect of this compound, of this blend, on elderly subjects. So this is why we are working with the hospital from Nice, and we have been funded by the Région Sud to do so. And I hope we'll get a nice result, and that next meeting we can share with everyone. So just to sum up, to have a take-home message from ChemoSim. So we are chemists, we are theoretical chemists working in the field of olfaction, and we are experts to decipher the structure-activity rules. So if you are interested to work with them, we are really happy to share and collaborate with different partners. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Jeremy. So let's move on now to the last presentation with two others of your colleagues from the Institute of Chemistry. The presentation will be made by Pascal Dao and Rachid Benida.
Thank you. So good afternoon, everyone. So now I would like to present you one of the projects which I think should be fit perfectly with the topic of this session around aging and well-being. So this project is ongoing at ICN with the bioactive molecule teams, which is led by Rachid Benida. And with this project, we aim to identify and develop a new class of drugs, which is called the senolytics, to fight aging and age-related disease. As you may already know, today the cellular senescence have been identified as one of the key of the aging and age-related disease, and in particular, those where the inflammation play an important role, such as pulmonary fibrosis, osteoarthritis, and so on. As I say, we aim to develop a new class of drugs, the senolytics, which are able to eliminate selectively the senescent cells and the inflammation process related to these cells. And for this, we work on two complementary approaches. The first one with the generation of new senolytic products based on one of the specificity of the senescent cells, the beta-galactose activity for the selective targeting and release of the drugs inside the senescent cells, for the specific elimination. And the second one, it's based on image-based high-throughput staining for the identification of new therapeutic drugs coming from different compound library. And this will lead to a lead-to-lead process for the selection and optimization of a new class of drugs. So as I said, the senolytics. And as maybe you understand, so the hits select from the screening can be improved regarding their selectivity to the senescent cells using the senolytic products. So thanks.
Thank you very much to all of you. So we are done with the presentation. So now to go deeper into discussion, as Sylvain announced, we will move to the split sessions, and we will invite everyone to join one out of the 3 rooms that you can find from the button. Which one? The breakout rooms button at the bottom right of the screen.
Okay, I think we are all back from the sub-parallel session. We had a great time. I hope it was the same for you in your session. So I think we should go quickly on the feedbacks, because we have, let's say, 10 minutes to wrap up everything and then to go back to the plenary session. And an important aspect is that we want to offer opportunities for you to travel and to go further in the setting up this new collaboration within the Alliance. So a quick feedback. So I will start because I have the mic. What we did in our room was mostly to challenge the map a little bit, to be able to have identify new maybe items. We had suggestions for move some items from one branch to another one, and maybe to make some aspects more transversal. So that was an interesting discussion. And one point also was about finding some interest to then move to a call for proposal within the European funding scheme, and that will definitely be the next step. So Ines, you want to add something?
Yeah, I think it was really, at least for me, it was really interesting to, you know, some people really bring up points that we really have, you know, like on daily basis at Healthy, like especially the time to, you know, the wording aging is really challenging for us, like to find a word that really define what we really mean, because just using aging, really, we don't want to narrow it to elderly. That's really the point, you know, of the well-being and all of that. And yeah, so any suggestion is really appreciated for that.
Okay, thank you. Elizabeth, maybe for the room on pathological aging and from molecule to organs.
Yes, I can say a few words. The first is that it was too short because we just barely had time to start discussions, but we insisted on 2 points that was basically the laboratory and the different research teams that we could gather essentially in Nice, and also on the program that we set up on the master program that would be essentially a modular program on aging that includes members of the consortium, Sevilla, Genoa, and Nice, and that would offer a personalized track for students who would be trained in aging. Aging being this large ensemble of course, and that is very interdisciplinary with several important aspects that goes from cell damage to telomeres to different kind of physiological and pathophysiological levels. So and we also I think pointed out that getting the consortium to work on this important topic is also to train the students and the future students who will go into our labs and will circulate and build a network actually.
Thank you, Laurent. Diana and Hervé for the health data.
Actually, we fused our meeting room with the one on the second room, actually, because of a lack of participants, let's say.
Okay, thank you very much, Hervé. So we have a few minutes. So what I can say is that I feel that we would have probably enjoy more time, and also because of the frustration for presenters and for the audience to have such small pitches, but it was the format. I can say that we're gonna organize a meeting either in real life or again web-based in a few weeks or months, the time for us to wrap up everything and to actually make connections. And then it will be an entire day, and it will allow for longer presentations, scientific presentations, and also we will organize some poster sessions either online or in real life. So that's going to be, I mean, the good point of having so much people frustrated about the time is that it means that we are eager to talk more together about the science we can do within this innovation hub, and that's an incentive for us to organize another meeting more significant. And maybe Diana, to finish, you can talk about the opportunities for traveling.
So actually, if you first, I would just remind you that you can use the marketplace to post some collaboration opportunities or some needs that you have. It was very short, but I think that now you have a better idea of what is the Innovation Hub, Aging and Wellbeing. And so use the marketplace. And as Sylvain said, we will disseminate calls for expression of interest. I don't know technically how we will do that, but we will think of it very soon. And we will disseminate this call in order to support financially some mobilities for emerging collaborations. So this is the first point. And the second one is that the selected project will also benefit from a personalized support to identify some funding opportunities for the project. So we have a specific unit that will be dedicated to help the project and the leader, the PI of the project. So stay tuned and see you soon, I hope.
So if nothing more comes to be said, thank you very much to everyone for participating, either by presenting or moderating with us, or simply listening and sometimes making good remarks. So we look forward to work together in the next phases of the construction of the Innovation Hub. So let's reconnect to the main room using the B2Match page and listen to the conclusion of this open event by Carmen Vargas. Thank you very much and have a nice day.